Good morning, everybody. This is JD. What am I going to talk to you about today? You being afraid. You not doing what you need to do. You letting down our government. You allowing this catastrophe that we have to exist. You, the American people. In the write-up attached to this is the very explanation of what you have all failed to do. But you do not realize what our Constitution depends on more than anything else. Too many of you, way too many of you, say I'm afraid that we're going to get another spoiler like last time and Obama's going to get reelected. No. If you all band together, it will not happen. Your individual voices matter individually, not as a political party. You do not realize that you create the very problem we have today by accepting the dictation of how you shall and what you shall think. That's right. Each and every one of you who follow political party lines is nothing more than an amoeba running around this country on two legs. You allow the government to dictate to you how you shall and what you shall and how you shall speak. It's not going to happen this way. You have to realize you have to stand up and say, no, I am me, this is how I feel, this is what I say, and this is what I want. That's it. Don't be afraid to stand up for your individual voice. Don't be afraid, because your vote is your individual voice. Don't drown it out by the political parties. Don't be afraid. You are all out there afraid. I'm telling you to stand up and understand our nation, our country, our Constitution, and what it actually stands for and what it actually means. Force our government to live by the commandments in the Constitution. There is commandments. Just like when Moses was given the 10 Commandments by God, we were given 10 Commandments by our forefathers. These are the laws that our government must follow, no matter anything else. The Constitution sets up the government and how it shall run, but the first 10 amendments sets up the law. The heart of the Constitution is actually in the first 10 amendments. But unless we stand up and demand that our federal government starts abiding by each and every one of them. Look, the First Amendment, very First Amendment. Federal government shall not make any decision with religion, one way or the other. None. Yet, the Supreme Court completely ignored that and made a decision about prayer in school. That is a religious function. And what does the Constitution say about that? That should be left by individuals, governments, counties, and states. Not the federal government. But yet the federal government made a ruling on it. They can't. They shall not. Look at the debt problem we have. Our government has run up debt far beyond anything we could ever imagine to be real. We talking hundreds of dollars, they talking trillions. To them, $1 billion is $1. That's the way our federal government works. It does not listen to the people. It tries to govern us instead of we govern the people. We are beginning to allow this government to govern us instead of we govern the government. Read my write-up. Understand what I'm trying to tell you. I don't want to hear any views about spoilers anymore. If you're afraid that you will not count, why don't you go to a socialist country? There you could join a party and be part of the group that governs the individual, instead of in a country where an individual governs the government. Yes, in this country, the individual is supposed to govern the government, not the group governs the individual. Yes, You people have lost sight of everything. These political parties have totally destroyed the Constitution to almost where it is a piece of paper that is very well written and has no meaning. Because you, the people, the individuals that the Constitution is based on, is losing your own strength. You are afraid. Every one of you. Any person who says anything about a spoiler or anything like that says, I am a chicken. I am afraid that. And that's what you say. You say, well, I can't really go for an individual because I'm afraid that Obama might win. You're afraid. Imagine what George Washington and the Revolution soldiers would have said. Well, we're going up against the British military. We're afraid we might be beaten. So we better not do it. We better just stay with the colonies and accept everything as it is because we're afraid to stand up and have our individual voices heard. And you people who think that a congressman or senator is going to fix the problems, how sick can you be? If they sit in Congress and Senate and have been there for a while, you know they are part of the very problem this nation is. I don't care who it is. You cannot find a single congressman or senator that is worth leading this country. They are all, each and every one of them, part of the very problems we have this very day. Hey, that's it. They have shown who they are, what they are. So, why ain't I running for Congress or Senate? Because I do not believe in what they do. I cannot go into a group and say this is wrong and oh, I got to accept it because the majority. No, I can't accept it. Period. I will not accept it. I'm sorry. Now you know why. Because I don't believe in the group rules over the individual. I believe the individual rules over the group. Because when you lose your individuality, you lose everything. Everything that the Constitution stands for, everything that our forefathers fought for, everything this country was. All because of political parties. And you being afraid to be you. That's what this whole video is about. All of you is out there complaining, but being afraid to stand up and say, no, it will not happen this time. No, you the political parties are going to be the underdog. I will not support the political parties with my word, with my money, with my heart. I am an American. I believe in the Constitution, and that is where I stand. Nowhere else. And yes, people, I will never be politically correct because, again, I do not believe in political. I believe in the individual, and I have a right to speak straight forward, and that's the way it is. If you don't like it, you don't have to listen. That's the very truth. I am not politically correct. I am not politically party orientated. I believe too much in our Constitution, believe in what our forefathers went through, and I believe in the individual in this country is what makes it great, not the political party or the group. That's it. Now, you want to get in the nitty-gritty, like besides the government, if the government grows any larger, believe me, people, you will not have an individual left in this country. The government has to shrink down. The government has to go down in size because the individual cannot afford to lose the Constitution. And that is what's really at stake here. Thank you. This is JD.